Good day, Tragic here, and welcome to my final thoughts for Nightmare Forest Dead Run. Now, it's hard to speak deeply about a game that's so light, you know what I mean? Like, it feels a lot longer in the long play because of all the cutting and talking and chatting, but in reality, this is an extremely fast game. Very, very quick and very, very quick to re-deal. In fact, when I play this game in real life, I don't use the lane system like we had. I actually deal the cards in front of each player. We just deal a line of cards in front of us, and we have the character card sort of in front of them. I'll splice in a photo of that to make it make more sense. But my point is, the way you play this game is that you deal out the cards, you roll a bunch of dice, you're over, you deal out another set of cards. Whole game is incredibly fast. Now, as you saw, there's some kind of weird rules in this game. The rules are a little bit convoluted in the way they're written in the manual. The manual for Alien, what's it called? Alien Forest or whatever, Alien Invasion, is a lot better. And is an evolution of the rules, so they've made some improvements. For example, one of the things I really dislike about this game is that there's this mechanic about throwing things and making noise and adding zombies to the other characters to slow them down. Great in theory. Except, of course, most of your weapons produce enough damage to kill them instantly without you ever having to worry. So it doesn't slow them down at all. They just go, well, I've got this weapon. They're all instantly dead. So that mechanism kind of doesn't do quite what it's supposed to. And in Alien Invasion, the stuff that can appear at other people is actually scaled by level. They're not always level 1. And that's actually a huge difference, which really increases the way the game plays. I mean, you saw how we did it in this playthrough. We had some people doing lots of throwing, and the guy who was at the chest, his plan was to open the chest and then throw to everybody, slow everyone down, and then do a race to the finish. But as you saw, you can race pretty hard. It's a push your luck game, but with a 2 out of 6 chance of getting hits. So it's like a 1/3 chance of rolling success. It's not as, the push your luck factor isn't quite as brutal as I would like. It feels like this game is a lot more strategic than it actually is. You want to throw loot at people. You want to, stay where you are and find new gear and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is just roll your dice, move forward, and you'll probably get to the end quickly. This isn't so much a bad thing because it's what the game is designed for. And this designer, Dave Killingsworth, that's an excellent name, isn't it? Killingsworth. It sounds, like, it's either like, some kind of Calvin and Hobbes cowboy that he'd, dress up as in some fantasy, or, like an upper class English guy hanging out at the hunting lodge or something. It's a cool name, Killingsworth, love it. Anyway, Dave Killingworth has sort of specialized in light, quick family games, and he's made a number of really, really good ones. Despite Nightmare Forest Dead Run's faults, I've had a lot of fun playing with this game. In fact, it is one of my go-to brain cleansers, is what I call them. I play a lot. I mean, I don't play them a lot on my channel, but I play a lot of Euro games. They're really my favorite type of games. High complexity, puzzly, deep thinking Euro games are my cup of tea. That's why I love playing more than co-ops, and the thematics. But they can be a real presence on the brain. You can really get burnt out playing them. And we have basically a whole range of games in our group which we are called palate cleansers or, brain wipers or whatever. The idea is that they're quick and they're fun. They roll some dice, you have a good laugh, and you don't have to think. And this is a great game. We've had great fun with this game. Play it like 4 or 5 times in a row in like the space of, 30 minutes or 40 minutes or something. Now, I haven't actually got around to playing Alien Invasion, which is the improved version, but I've read the rules and I think it's actually going to be better. Yet this isn't a game that I feel is something that you want to rush. You're not going to rush out and buy this and go, I have to have this game. I think that this is the kind of game that if you see on the shelf, you go, oh, that's that Nightmare Forest game, I'll grab that. That's the kind of attitude I have to it. You know what I mean? I think that this is a fun game to own, but it's not something you want to track down and spend, because it costs a lot of money to ship stuff to Australia for me. So I don't want to spend, $60 US shipping this game out to Australia. You know what I'm saying? What this game really the thing that appeals to me most about this game, though, is actually not the game itself. It's what the game represents. This Dave Killingworth guy is an intelligent, motivated man that has found a kind of in that he's targeted, which is these light family games. I mean, he obviously loves these kind of games. And he's completely funded his whole company out of Kickstarter. Well, you know, as far as I know, like all these games come through Kickstarter first. And I find that really inspirational. I mean, I am a game designer in inverted commas. Like, I've got a whole stack of games that I've invented, but I have zero ambition and my organization skills are on par with my 4-year-old. And it's just, there's no way I could organize a Kickstarter campaign and do all the stuff that's necessary to actually be a professional. And I look at Dave Killingsworth's stuff, like the kind of games he makes, which are kind of like the games I design, because I do a lot of them to play with my kids. And I think, you know, that's really awesome. You know, and I tried to say this in my introduction video. There's a type of game which I relate to outside of the game itself as a kind of game that I feel a kind of kindred spirit. This is a gamer who loves gaming. He's made some games and he's made the effort and has the wherewithal to actually produce it. And I find that an impressive thing. And I love that. And I know that's not really what the game is, you know, like, that's got nothing to do with the game being good or not, but it's sort of like, okay, I'll tell you a secret, right? Here's a secret. I am embarrassed by how much I love Superman. I have been a Superman fan since I was like teeny tot. Got photos of me from my mum, has photos of me wearing Superman outfits when I was like almost a baby. And I love Superman. And I will watch or read, I still read the comics, anything with Superman in it. I don't care how dark and gloomy the DCU movies are. I love them because Superman's in it and I love Superman. And it's embarrassing, but it's the truth. And I guess that's a fanboy thing, but that kind of thing can spill over into other aspects of life. And one of those aspects is gaming. There are games that I like and I enjoy playing them and I'm having lots of fun. But when I examine the mechanisms and style of the game, there's a lot of problems. But I don't care because there's some kind of personal connection with the game. And this guy's games are like that for me. I get that a lot with a couple of Victory Point games as well. So I don't know whether my opinions on this game are valid because they're tainted by the fact that there's a whole level of benefit of the doubt or leeway that I give the games of Dave Killingsworth because they're kind of like, he's kind of like what I would like to think I would be like if I was motivated. Does that make any sense? Anyway, the point is, this is a good game. I have a lot of fun playing with it. You roll a bunch of dice. It's quick. It's easy to reset, especially if you use the modified setup like I was told to at the beginning. And more importantly, it's easy to play. You can play it with anybody. But on the same token, it has a bit of a clunky rule system, which is typical from new, in inverted commas, designers. And some of the concepts in the game don't actually bear fruit, you know, like the throwing and, you know, the delaying people by chucking gear at them and gear searching and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't really need to gear search because you can get gear and dice just by moving forward. So it's sort of like the rules are there thematically and they make sense and they're good. But at the same time, the consequences of the die rolls and the way the moving through the forest works means that those choices don't have as much meaning, and that's a bit of a downer. Anyway, that is Nightmare Forest, and I will see you guys next time.